Hello, I'm Ryan Hill, and this is the EDL 856 case study on parental apathy. When looking at apathy from parents or the unwillingness of parents to be involved in the school system, we must have identification and analysis of the underlying issues. In order to do that, we look at it in three different parts. First part, what do you know? Second part, what do you need to know? And then finally, the third part, the problem statement at hand. When we look at what do you know, in this case study, we see little contact with parents or community. There is no parent-teacher organizations or parent-teacher associations. And when a special meeting was called, there were little to no parents that showed. What do we need to know in this case? Well, the school has experienced parent apathy. The principal has felt in touch with the community, and the community has given a poor response. The school has sent out ineffective messages to parents. In this case study, they sent a message on a Friday afternoon to the students to give to their parents for a meeting a week from the next Monday at 7:30 p.m. That is pretty difficult information for me to even recall after reading it multiple times, but hardly ever would a student be able to recall that and transfer that message to parents on a Friday afternoon. So, what is the problem at hand? The school is having an issue with the lack of parent involvement. The community has given off the impression that they want a hands-off approach. They much rather have the school deal with any and all issues. And the school has been okay with that approach. The identification and analysis phase is extremely important because you must understand all the variables at hand in order to come up with a viable solution. The next phase is developing a plan of action, or developing possible solutions to solve the problem. I suggest, first, the school needs to improve the lines of communication. Ineffective communication, like that in the case study where they sent a message through the students, gave poor results. So perhaps sending effective messages through social media, letters at home, or even the contact information that has been provided by most parents. The next step in the plan of action would be to increase the opportunities for parents to be involved. Allowing parents to be informed on open houses, parent-teacher conferences, or any other special meetings will allow for more parent involvement. From there, you can assess whether you need to create a parent advisory committee. The final step in the plan of action would be to assess the involved parents. After you have improved the line of communication and increased the chances of involvement, you can then assess the number of parents as well as which parents have shown most often to the events. This will allow the assessment of lines of communication and the involvement to be done. Developing a plan of action and then assessing that plan will allow you to understand whether you are on the correct path or whether you need to change course and go in a new direction. When implementing each one of these phases, you must always think of what is best for the students. Students need parent involvement in order to be successful in school. Assuring open communication between teachers and administrations and parents clarifies expectations of that student. Parent involvement in open houses and parent-teacher conferences allows parents to know what their student will be doing and their progress. The 8 parents that showed up in this case study's parent meeting could very well form their parent advisory group. That will allow the school insight and effective communication paths with other parents. So a little bit more of a personal analysis of the case. I think the school could benefit with a better communication plan for parent and community involvement. Actual data of parent involvement with an effective communication plan will be necessary in order to make a final conclusion on parent apathy. It's difficult for me to conclude whether this school has a parent apathy problem or whether the real issue is the communication method or the expectations of community involvement. When we look at the implementation of these phases, we must look at the following. How does parent apathy affect academic success, the personal well-being of the student, and community involvement? When looking at how parent apathy affects academic success, I feel that the promotion of academic success of the students can be done through parent-teacher conferences, student award ceremonies, or even student showcases, all of which can be done without a specified parent organization. Now, in this case study, if you want to develop a parent advisory group, they can then specify ways of effective communication or even help get community support through sponsorships. Now looking at the personal well-being of the student when it comes to parent apathy, I feel opening the line of communication between home and school can increase a student's well-being by providing another avenue of conversation between the student and the parent. How often has a parent asked their student, "How did school go today?" with the reply of, "Good." Allowing a parent to know pertinent information on what is going on at school will allow the parent to ask more specific questions. If the contacts between school and home were mostly positive, parents would be able to be more inclined to be involved versus feeling obligated when the school inquires about assistance. When it comes to involving the community and engaging them, it really must be a give and take system. In order for the community to support the school must also support the community. This can be done a number of ways, but for example, it can be done through community service, involvement in community events, and then also connecting with local industry. I really feel like the impact that parent involvement has is a positive influence on student achievement, as well as the community's perspective of the school. If you get parents involved and the community sees that involvement, you are more likely to pass any big issues that can come up. Well, thank you for listening to my case study. Well, thank you for listening to my analysis of this case study. I've really learned a lot from it, as well as from this class as a whole. And I really look forward to how it can affect my current position and any future advancement. Thank you very much.